the wrong opposite bad direction. I don't know, what's this guy thinking?
Hey guys, welcome back.
Welcome back. We're in a different kitchen, different location. We are coming to you, I was going to say live, but we ain't live, but we are in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Woo, having a good time.
Absolutely. And as you can see, we have access to a real kitchen.
So we've been able to make some different dishes.
Yes.
What do we got today?
Oh my gosh, we're so excited. We have tofu scramble on toast with homemade baked beans, and this looks wonderful, if we do say so ourselves.
What have we got in there? So we've got some whole grain bread.
Yep.
And we've got, you said homemade baked beans, and they are to a degree. They're canned cannellini white navy beans.
Yes.
But then you've used some canned
tomatoes and just a mix of different herbs and spices, some Italian herbs in there as well.
Yeah, we went to buy like a proper can of baked beans, but there's a few nasties in there.
Yeah,
We're like, we can do it a
right.
little bit better.
Exactly. Now in the scramble, we've got some onion, mushrooms, spinach, red bell pepper or capsicum, and something else.
Tofu?
Tofu, yeah.
The soft silken tofu?
Tomatoes.
That's the one.
That's the one. Now we've used some like Indian curry powder type spices.
Yeah. You know, things like cumin, ginger, paprika, coriander, turmeric, chili, black pepper, that type of stuff.
The curry powder that we usually use is back on the island at home. So this is the best we could do. The avocado looks really pretty. This is just for the thumbnail because it ain't ripe. So
comment down below if you've experienced that. It's just like, I'm sure every vegan has. Oh my god.
So pretend the avocado is ripe, and that is just like the.
Yeah. So I've got mine here, and
we've
I've got
plenty
more
left.
over there.
We're really hungry.
Let's eat. Comment down below, guys. What are you guys eating while you're watching this?
Yes.
Let us know. Share it with others in the comment section.
Oh, the toast is flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Etiquette out the window. Here we go. How do you eat your scrambled tofu on toast? Knife and fork, or with the hand? How is it? Good.
I'll just eat it.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. That's good. Good.
Oh yeah. This might be slightly challenging to eat this one on camera.
It's going to be really nasty. And just to set this up, we have a microwave between our legs.
It's just a really poorly designed
weird
apartment, and we've got no leg space. We're both man spreading.
Yeah. So. Oh wow, this is nice. We haven't had something like this in I don't know how long, a long time. It's just been nice to change up our food because it's been a bit limiting on the island what we have access to. So this has been a great trip just to try different things. That's really good. So you don't need to use eggs. For your scrambled eggs in the morning, you can use tofu. It's all about the herbs and spices and things that you add to it.
Yeah, texture's exactly the same, isn't it?
It's the same.
Just without that awful smell, and certainly without all the cruelty and.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Did we ask what are you guys eating? Have you already said that?
I have.
Okay, cool.
Because I was thinking some of our non-vegan viewers might not be aware of the cruelty involved in eggs. We'll link a video in the description below. Basically, they kill the male baby chicks because they can't lay eggs, so they're of no use to the egg industry. So
they're not profitable.
They're not profitable. They just throw them in a mincer, in a grinder, or they suffocate them alive in plastic bags. It's just absolutely terrible cruelty in the egg industry. So.
Scramble your tofu.
Exactly.
What were you going to say? Tofu your scramble.
Scrambled tofu for the win.
God, I'm enjoying that.
Oh yeah. And I mentioned that because when we were vegetarian, we didn't know about the cruelty in the dairy and egg industries.
No.
And once you find out about those, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. It's very easy to go
as cruel
vegan
or crueler than the meat industry.
Yeah.
So vegan it is.
Yeah. All right, I'm going 1 fork, 1 hand.
You mean
Oh, you just
Yeah,
I didn't know
you're
you were had a
copying me. That's how I started.
He was right.
Normally she is. Very good, very good.
It's lovely.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now, I would love to just eat this on camera and not say anything to absorb and enjoy all this flavour, but there's a video we need to respond to. Just say that. I don't even know how to describe it.
So the video is called "Want to Save Animal Lives Without Going Veg? Eat beef, not chicken."
Now we have our, it's because you can't see it, we have our laptop in front of us and we made some notes that we want to refer to because there's just a lot here. It's only a 4-minute video.
Yeah. It's on a channel called Vox, which is kind of like a BuzzFeed style channel. They've got 2.3 million subscribers, so reaching a huge audience.
Yeah, and this video came out a little while ago on the 27th of May.
We've had a few requests to make a response to it, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we thought we'd talk about it over this mukbang video.
Oh, cool. I would give anything for this avocado to be ripe. That's not bad. I'm trying to manifest see.
No.
Manifest it. Alright. So this video needs to be responded to because it's putting out some really bizarre messages that we don't like. And let's start off by the thumbs up, thumbs down ratio. 14,000 up.
Almost 18,000 down. I think the people have spoken.
Yeah.
So the video features someone called Matt Ball. Now straight off the bat, we didn't know who he was. We hadn't heard of him. So we had to Google him.
And the second reason we had to Google him, not only because we didn't know who he was, but we were really confused as to whether he is actually vegan or if he is basically a troll paid by the animal agriculture industry to spread propaganda.
That's right. What else are we supposed to think when we see a title of a video, "Want to save animals' lives without going vegan"? That's going to be interesting. Eat beef, not chicken. Then this guy's vegan? It just didn't add up.
It didn't add up. So we looked him up about halfway through the video. We're like, this cannot be from a vegan. But
no. So he's an animal welfare activist, not an animal liberation activist. He co-founded Vegan Outreach.
And they do some amazing work, don't get us wrong.
They do.
They do some amazing
However,
work.
they have a very recent slogan which does not sit well with us at all, which says, "Want to go vegan but can't give up cheese? Then go vegan except for cheese." There's a word for that, isn't there?
Vegetarian.
That's it. So
Yeah.
sort of very much in line with the title of this video and the message that is being promoted.
Yeah. So anyway,
So he's now co-founder of another organisation called One Step for Animals.
so one of the first things that Matt talks about in his video, he says that everybody knows a vegan who is rude, outrageous, angry, and yelling.
This is something.
Everybody? Really?
Yeah, very reminiscent of what a carnist would say, not what a vegan would say.
Yeah.
You know, like roaming millennial.
Well, that's it. It reminded us of Roaming Millennial because she was basically saying, well, you know, vegans have this particular kind of character and behaviour which I don't like, so therefore that justifies me not eating that particular diet, and I can do whatever I want because I don't like how vegans act. I also have had many run-ins with carnists who are outrageous, rude, yelling,
And angry.
So I guess that means that I don't want to eat the same diet as those people, which means be vegan instead. You know? So we addressed that in our Roaming Millennial response video. We'll link that down below. Just you can't base what you're doing ethically on somebody else's behaviour.
Yeah.
And it's not true anyway. Not all vegans are like that.
No, absolutely not. It's
a stereotype.
Gross, stereotype. But it, you know, it's attempting to appeal to carnists, I guess, who, those angry vegans, those rude, outrageous, obnoxious vegans. Yeah, we're speaking the truth about how it is unethical and unnecessary to needlessly kill animals for food, clothing, entertainment, or any other purpose. Yeah, oh, that's so rude. No, it's the truth. And, you know, if you're contributing to paying people to kill animals unnecessarily, you might find that the truth confronting, and it might be very easy to label someone who's carrying that message as angry or yelling or rude, and so I shouldn't listen to anything they're saying. Anyway, so then he appeals to Anthony Bourdain.
He was a chef, a famous chef. And this chef Anthony says, well, you know, these vegans are similar to Hezbollah, which is a terrorist group. So you've got a vegan, you know, Matt, saying, see, look at this celebrity chef. Even he says we're ridiculous and we're like terrorists.
A celebrity chef who is being paid by the animal products industry to promote animal products in what he cooks and what he serves. Of course, it's impossible or very difficult to get somebody to understand something when their paycheck depends on them not understanding it. So this appeal to Anthony Bourdain, celebrity animal product chef, is just ridiculous. As if, you know, oh, he's the barometer of...
Oh, see, he said it, so it must be true.
Oh my God. And then Matt actually supports Anthony's views, where Anthony calls vegans fanatics and fanatical. You know, he's siding...
That was a little disturbing, I have to say.
He's siding with the carnists. You know, yes, vegans are fanatical. Oh, it's so fanatical to not want to kill animals. You know, that's something we should be fanatical about. You know, these are poor, innocent, defenseless, beautiful, sentient creatures who, you know, just want to live and don't deserve to die.
That's right. If there's one thing you want to be fanatical about, that should be it.
Exactly. And they don't die. They don't die of natural causes.
No.
They're killed, you know.
So, Matt's main message is that
don't push veganism.
Don't push veganism onto people. And what does that even mean? Basically, don't promote veganism, because you can't. How do you push something onto someone? I don't know.
Just stop eating chicken.
Because the majority of animals that are killed for food come from factory farms, and the majority of those animals are chickens. So if we stop people eating chickens, then they'll just eat whatever's left of those other animals that we raise for food, and that will naturally be a smaller number.
On paper, it makes sense.
In terms of the numbers.
In terms of the numbers.
Like anything else.
But it sends mixed messages, doesn't it? In the sense that...
It's extremely flawed.
Yeah, extremely flawed. Like, people, carnists, have been made aware of by health authorities and organisations and environmental groups and organisations for years now that, you know, you've got to eat less beef, less red meat, because, you know, that has the worst impact on your health, and it also has the worst environmental impact. So most carnists have had that drummed into them by various groups for the last decade or so, to the point where now, if you're having a conversation with a carnist as a vegan, one of the very first things that every carnist says is, oh,
not everyone, but a lot.
A lot is, you know, I hardly eat any meat. And they mean red meat, or they even specify red meat.
Or I only eat white meat. Now, not that we're saying that's okay, but a lot of people have cut down or you know, eliminated red meat.
Yeah, and for those that haven't yet cut down their red meat consumption, then you've got the Before the Flood documentary by Leonardo DiCaprio and National Geographic, where they feature this guy who says, eat less beef and switch to chicken instead.
So carnists are getting two different messages.
Yeah, don't eat chicken, eat beef instead. So the carnist is like, hang on a second, that's contrary to what I've been told by health and environmental organisations for years now, and now you're saying, no, go and do the opposite.
So I might as well just eat everything in moderation. That's mixed messages. And we mean business, we've got round 2 and the hair's gone up.
So we're now Matt's asking carnists to eat something that's worse for their health and worse for the environment, and it's also actually more expensive. There's a reason that chicken is eaten by the majority of the world's population as, you know, meat versus beef, because it's cheaper to produce. So, go and eat something that is worse for your health, worse for the environment, and more expensive. Yeah, that's really going to resonate with carnists well. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It is, and what it's doing is, it's setting the bar so low.
Oh, yeah.
So low that carnists would probably trip over it, you know? Like, what we need is a consistent message that says going vegan is the least we can do. Not paying other people to stab baby animals in the throat is the moral baseline. And this is what Professor Gary Francione is saying, and we'll link some of his work down below. It's one thing for somebody to choose to take steps towards going vegan. And it's another thing to basically give people an out. Oh, you don't have to. You can just kind of reduce here and you can do these things there. But if you find going vegan is too hard, then that's all right. You've done as much as you can.
Yeah.
That's not good enough.
And it's getting the vegan stamp of approval too,
it's getting the vegan stamp of approval in this video, which is just insane. So it's like, what we need to do is we need to help people understand that being vegan is the moral baseline, okay? And then you give them the education, here is why, and then you give them the tools, this is how to do it. From that point, you allow people to decide how far from being vegan they choose to go. All right, you've got to let that person decide for themselves.
Yeah.
You don't give them the option, oh, by the way, if you don't want to go vegan, here's a list of other things you can do. No. You set the standard, being vegan, and then people decide for themselves how far they're going to fall from that.
Exactly. And another thing this video got me thinking about was, so Matt's saying if we tell people to stop eating chickens and eat beef instead, then, that's the answer. What that reminds me of is, let's imagine, someone came out and said, okay, so racism is a problem.
Yeah.
What's the biggest source of racism on earth? Oh, it's towards black people. Okay, so let's stop being racist towards black people and only be racist towards Asians, and we'll reduce the overall amount of racism in the world. Well, what kind of flawed thinking is that? Racism is the problem, not who we're discriminating against, whether, do you know what I mean? And so speciesism is the problem here, not which species we're discriminating against, switching from one species to another. Speciesism is the problem.
All killing is wrong. It doesn't matter who the animal is.
That's right.
Whether they've got feathers or hooves, it's wrong to kill them unnecessarily.
And that's the message that needs to be spread. That's the moral baseline.
Yeah. And you know what this reminds me of, though? It reminds me of the scenario that we humans like to kind of throw out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got 100 people that you can save from being killed if you just kill one person. So sacrifice one life to save 100. Would you do it? Now, it's ridiculous to give someone that scenario, but let's just play with it for a minute. Some people might say, no, all killing's wrong, I can't do it. Some people might say, yeah, I'm going to sacrifice that one person to save the 100. Okay, what if that one person is not a stranger though? What if it's someone you know, someone you love? What if it's your mother, your father, your partner, your child? Would you kill that one person that you love to save the 100 strangers? What if that one person to save is not a person, it's your family pet? What if it's your family dog that is like, any other member of your family? Would you kill that dog to save the 100 people? A lot of people would say no. So basically, would you kill one cow to save 100 chickens, or whatever the numbers are? But that's the scenario.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's easy to put yourself at a distance to this situation and just say, well, it's just a cow and they're just chickens.
Yep.
But to that cow, that's their life. Their life matters. They are that individual. They're saying, well, hold on. What about me? What about my family, my feelings? I don't want to die. I also don't want those chickens to die. But why are you sacrificing me in this scenario?
So wouldn't the appropriate thing to do be to stop all unnecessary killing? Like, isn't that
possible?
Isn't that the desired goal? And shouldn't that be, the message that's promoted?
Yeah.
But apparently Matt says, oh no, that message doesn't work. He says only 2% of the United States population is vegetarian and only 0.5% is vegan. Now, first of all, where are those statistics from? I didn't see any sources in the video or below the video. They're a little lower than the ones that, I've heard over the last, 5 or 6 years. But let's just imagine for a moment that the statistics were true. Well, statistics can be misleading. For example, what if the population growth in the US is just outstripping the growth of the number of vegans in the US? Then you're never going to see those numbers of 2% and 0.5% increase if the overall population growth is outstripping the growth in veganism. It doesn't mean that, you know, the approach of promoting veganism isn't working. It just might mean that we're pumping out people in the US, for example, faster than we're creating new vegans. Any statisticians watching, leave your comments down below and let us know what you think.
And that's nonsense anyway. I mean, you can see vegan businesses growing in an extraordinary rate.
Yeah.
What's the company?
Impossible Foods.
They were offered $300 million to be bought by Google, and they turned it down.
Why did they do that? Because they felt that veganism isn't growing?
And,
exactly.
You know, the dairy industry, oh my God.
Floundering, sinking, dying.
Legs.
That's why they keep pumping out all of this propaganda about cheese is healthy, makes you slimmer, dairy, you know, doesn't cause heart disease. You know, these are desperate attempts from a failing industry. And why are they failing? Because people are switching to healthier, more ethical and environmentally friendly options like plant-based dairy alternatives.
It is growing every single day. Never ever doubt that. It's easier today than it was a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 5 years ago.
And even look at, you know, the number of new vegan restaurants opening up. Why are they opening up? Because veganism isn't growing? Of course not. And what about even non-vegan restaurants where they're adding more vegan options to their menus? Exactly. Why are they doing that? It's because we live in a supply and demand world. So the reason why there are more vegan restaurants and more vegan options at non-vegan restaurants is because the demand is going up. Supply is reacting to consumer demand. So consumer demand is changing.
That's right. And so it is working. What we're all doing, whatever avenue you're taking, it is working.
And Matt's very much downplaying the efforts of vegan advocates to grow the vegan movement in recent years. You know, it's all very doom and gloom. What we've been doing hasn't been working, so we have to do something else. I've got the solution. It's the one-step approach, or whatever it is.
Telling people to eat animals, Matt, that's not a solution. That's what we're currently doing. That's what we're trying to get away from.
Yeah, and I also think the graph that he showed, he said, you know, like the numbers don't lie. Look at this graph of US red meat and poultry consumption. You know, it's been going up and up for the last 40, 50 years or what have you. Well, let's zone in on the last, say, 15 years. It's hard to tell exactly on the graph there, but you can see that it's actually been declining over the last 15 years. And veganism has boomed over that last 15-year period with the advent of the internet and sharing information more readily, you know, and at a rapid rate. Social media.
Yeah.
So, yes, you're right, Matt. The numbers don't lie. The graph is showing there is a reduction in red meat and poultry consumption in the US. So, you know.
So we were just really confused about this video. What is his intention, his motivation? Why would you be putting out a message like this? I know he's taking donations on his new website, his new organization. Is it a money thing? Are you just trying to play to carnists? I don't know. What do you guys think? We'll link the video down below. Like we said, it's got more thumbs down, than thumbs up. So I think it really upset a lot of people, not just vegans, but I noticed there were comments from, you know, environmentalists saying, no, that's not. You know,
yeah, I don't think all those 18,000 thumbs down were necessarily all vegans.
No.
It doesn't make logical sense to a lot of people, actually to more people than it did make sense to, as per the thumbs up to thumbs down ratio.
And of course, if Matt put himself in the position of the cow, would he be okay with somebody advocating what he is about him, his life? Would he be okay to have his throat slit just to save 100 animals from another species? I doubt it. I really doubt it. As soon as we put ourselves in the animal's position, it's a game changer. Yeah. You know? We need to be spreading the message, as you keep saying, that the killing itself is wrong and it's unnecessary.
That's it.
That's it.
That's the message.
You know? Wherever people fall from that,
that's up to the individual to decide, but promoting anything less than saying unnecessary killing is wrong, we shouldn't be doing that, is unethical.
It is unethical. Oh, here's the other thing.
It's irresponsible.
You're saying that, you know, like, I think it's like 80% of people who go veg end up going back to eating animals, which, Well, he's telling people to continue eating animals anyway, so that doesn't even make sense. And the main reason people go back to eating animals is social pressure and just it's not convenient. You know, you're out and all of your friends are eating this and you're not sure what to order on the menu, blah, blah, blah. And definitely there are times when it can be more challenging. But the more people that are trying to eat more plant-based and making these requests,
the easier it becomes socially.
You know,
and that's already happening because there are more vegan restaurants opening and there are more vegan options being offered at non-vegan restaurants.
If we follow what Matt's suggesting, then we're just going to decrease the number of people eating a vegan diet, and it's going to make it harder for those who are vegan. So it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And of course, the other thing that this video potentially does is turn people away from veganism. Because if somebody is curious, veg-curious, and they're looking into things, and then they have someone, you know, a vegan from various organizations, turn around and say, oh, that's okay, you can still save animals, but you can still eat them, the kind of says, fantastic, I don't have to give up, you know, what I want to eat, but I can still be doing good.
Yeah, I've been given the vegan stamp of approval.
That's insane. That is actually like telling people what they want to hear in such the wrong, opposite, bad direction. I don't know, what's this guy thinking? True? So it could potentially turn people away from being vegan.
And you might have seen us, you know, we've got quite impassioned in this video.
Yeah.
And it's because it's a topic that we're very passionate about. And, you know, some vegans, including ourselves, can get angry at times. But we've said this before. If you're not angry, you're not paying attention because there is so much injustice in the world. And, you know, the greatest source of that injustice, you know, in terms of scale, numbers, is in the animal agriculture industry. So we've got things to be angry about.
That's right. And it's not saying that you have to go around and just crazy angry vegan, which the majority of people are not. I mean, I've never even met a crazy angry vegan.
But even if they are, aren't they justified with their anger? You know, particularly if you put yourselves in the victim's shoes, as we always say, and as you just said, you would want someone to be angry on your behalf about
to fight for
the
you.
Discrimination and the, you know, unjust treatment that you were, you know, receiving.
Yeah, you want someone to fight for your life.
Yeah.
So,
what do you guys think?
God, it's all hot under the collar if we had one.
We've been going on. Leave your comments down below. Very important discussion. Check out the work from Professor Gary Francione that we're going to link below. Amazing video.
It's not how we're treating animals, it's not how we're killing them, it's not how much or how little we're eating of them.
The fact that we're using them at all.
On that note, this was delicious.
Absolutely.
Really great. Try a tofu scramble.
Yeah, and if you already do eat tofu scramble, let us know how you like to prepare yours in the comments down below, and other people
share
can
some recipes.
Share and learn.
Yeah, good. Alrighty, thanks so much for joining us, guys. Thank you for eating with us. Share what you're eating down below. Again, we like to see those recipes to influence other viewers.
Yep. Give the video a like, really helps us out, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
And please ding that bell and make sure you check the box so you get notifications whenever we upload a new video.
And remember, until next time, that going vegan, it's not the most we can do.
It is literally the least we can do. See you next video.
Bye, guys.